Okay, so I'm checking the microphone. Instead of Jagoda, I've got Kuba here, but not to worry. Sit, guys, please. Okay, some of you know me, some not, so, okay, too close. I'm from the bank, but I'm not going to talk about the fintechs and stuff. Actually, I'm from the startup community and from the VC world in a bank. And today, I'd like to talk with my colleagues, Michał, Miszułowicz from the digital transformation team, and with Łukasz from Authenty and Kuba from New Delta about our experiences. So the panel is, why can't or why can we be friends as a corporation working with the startups? So what we want to do is to talk on the real life cases for what you have to be prepared if you want to work with such a big company, with a company which is so regulated as the bank in fact is. So these are our 40 minutes to show you our experiences, our fuck-ups as well. So if you want to join and ask the questions while the panel, please do. Okay, so these are my colleagues. One of the startups who's got the fastest track, so 3 months, that was our fastest implementation, and Authenty, which is our longest implementation. Yeah. Okay, I'll start with the first questions. The biggest surprise in the process with the bank. Kuba, maybe you first?
Okay, so for us the biggest surprise was that the time we need to implement. We made the core technology for bank in about 1.5 months, but the whole process from developing to implementing and...
Sorry, do you hear Kuba? No?
Oh, 1, 2.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
So the core technology we developed in 1.5 months, but the whole process of implementing in bank took about 3 to 5 months. So it was not that fast as we thought before. So for me,
you thought that about 1 month?
No, about 1.5 months. Like
1.5 months.
Yeah, when we started, this was the deadline. But after some time, of course, business plans changed, etc. So, as always, plans changed, and we was required to spend much more time to work with us.
At the beginning. Yeah.
Yep.
Łukasz, the biggest surprise for you?
The biggest surprise for us as Authenty was to update or to change our sub-processors in field of data management, I mean the personal data management, to meet the GDPR requirements. So that was quite a big surprise for us, but we did it very fast, and now we are ready to support banks.
Okay, Michał, from your side, from the side of the bank, what is the most challenge for our colleagues, to be honest, because this is a challenge working with the startups in a big organization?
Well, my favorite example is the time unit, because we all say we want to develop something fast, while fast for startup or the fintech is up to 3 weeks, while for us, the bank, fast is about 1 month. It's extra fast, but usually it's 1 quarter. So the timeline of the projects is huge, and the challenge is to agree the startup fast and the bank fast to meet in the middle of the road and just to deliver in the reasonable time. So this is the biggest challenge, to meet the time units.
Okay, so time frame. This is the first thing. From my experience, I see that the biggest challenge in working together is to make the business lines cooperate with the IT guys, because we've got plenty of solutions, plenty of experiences while one of the business line is talking to a startup without engaging the IT guys, and suddenly it appears that the startup cannot work with us, cannot work with our system. So guys, if you talk to our colleagues, if you talk to any of the different banks and you talk only to the business line, please ask to join the IT guys to the talks inside. Michał? Kuba?
So I believe Kuba has some positive experience regarding IT, while Łukasz not necessarily, so it will be interesting. So maybe positive first.
Okay, so the core development team in bank is in Kraków. So for us it was a little bit difficult to work remotely because we, as a startup, we are from Poznań. But still, it's if you have contact with person who have some abilities in bank, have some he need to know with who he need to talk to make some things, maybe sometimes out of standard ways, standard processes. It's much easier to cooperate, and that was our experience. We cooperate with person who had who know who to ask for example, servers or something else, without making the whole process like buying another server, but maybe just take something that is somewhere, is not used at that time, and can be used for
Łukasz?
to speed up process.
And from your side?
Yeah, I would like to make some update because it was around 6-7 months to prepare the final solution, I can say. In the matter of services like e-signing, it's really quick time frame. Our experience is that we have, I can say, dual experience in matter of IT guys, because there are two departments or several one in big organizations like bank, and one of the team was very familiar with our service and they were very proactive. And the second team, I can say, old school guys had problems to change their mind, I can say, because we offer our service as a cloud, so it's not popular to provide e-signing solution for the bank as a cloud, as a service, as a service. So it was a big win for us, I can say, not only for Authentic, but also for guys who are managing that project. And that's very important to have such, I can say, champion in the organization who's the spirit of movements of the project. So you have brilliant project manager and the manager of that business in the project who are fighting for us and fighting with the guys internally sometimes. For our business, it's not only the IT case, but we do our business in field of law regulations. So it's very important to incorporate lawyers from the bank to prepare the process, to map the process, to make that process compliant with all the regulations. So summarizing our experience is positive, but we need to learn each other from project to project.
I will get back to the legal part in a minute because we have changed, so we have announced certain changes today, but you mentioned about the old-fashioned guys inside the organization, okay? How to cope with that? Michał?
So we are on the easier side, being inside the bank and dealing with old-fashioned guys, so we can just encourage them to change. So this is a polite way to ask them to act differently. And I believe that the change inside the organization is already happening, and we just need to show them the new way. I'm always the positive one, so I'm just believing in leading by example. So find one weak chain in this problem, take them on your side, so on the startup and innovation side, show them that this is possible, that you can do much more cooperating with external world, and then he will spread the good news among his old-fashioned colleagues. So we need to deal with the change from the inside. There is no way that any startup will change the mindset of large organization, especially the old-fashioned people inside the organization. Those just need to change by themselves.
Oh, we can push our colleagues. So, for example, we took 25 people from our bank to Infoshare, and imagine what? They are first time at the Infoshare talking to so many companies. So if you want to talk to us, please find our guys, because joining places, joining events like this is a matter of education. We can show our colleagues the possibilities that the startup world brings to the bank. Yeah?
And you don't need to be worried about cooperation with big companies, because in some way it's like there is no much difference between cooperation with between small and big companies and between small and small companies. So of course sometimes timing is different. You need to make the same things. You need to make the same requirements, meet the same requirements to cooperate with small and with big businesses. So there is no much difference.
Yes, I have two advices, one for a bank and one for entrepreneurs, especially startups. For banks, please find the open-minded person in bank who will lead the project, who will be like startup-like guy, who knows the specific of small company, who knows that sometimes they need some time to adjust the service, let's say. For the entrepreneurs, for the startups, it's very important to do everything very professionally, step by step. It's a long time process. You have to be patient. It's not a quick, easy money. You should be prepared. You are more like project manager than sales in such project, because you need to combine all the resources in company, from IT, legal, to the security aspects. So that's my advice.
I'd add to that, don't go around gatekeepers. This is one of the parts of our Startup Cooperation Code, which was launched officially today. Because startups, I remember my work from the VCs, yeah? So the startup keep pushing the big organization, keep sending the presentation to tens of people inside the bank, for example, and you know what? You waste your time, okay? So find the people who are at the front, find the people who task is to search for the startups. Oh, I think we've got a rain coming. So for example, for our bank, this is Michał, this is me, because we will tell you honestly if we are looking for this kind of technology that you have. If not, we will tell you that honestly as well, yeah? Because there's no use of wasting your time. There's no use of sending us big presentation, yeah? We do not have time to go into details of the presentation, yeah? But we will check the needs of the bank and we will tell you honestly how the situation looks inside, yeah? So don't go around gatekeepers, don't send your presentations to our CEO or the head managers. They do not have time. We are to do that for you, yeah?
One of examples is like waiting for RFP, for example, because we joined the hackathon in 2016, yeah? And we acquire RFP after 7 or 8 months after the successful marathon, I mean the hackathon. And right now we finalize our first contract after 1 year of doing the project, because you need to validate the project inside. All the departments have to check the solution if it's compliant. So it's natural. It's natural that the project for the bank can take even 1 year.
Going further, you started to talk about the legal department. So my first experience with the legal department was when I checked the first agreements. From my point of view, they were really, really long and complicated, too complicated as for a startup. What do you think?
It depends on the nature of the service. As I mentioned before, we are a signing platform. We allow to sign documents which have their formal value. So we need to be compliant with all the regulations, with eIDAS, with GDPR, with the civil code, I mean the Polish one. So your service should be aligned with all those rules. And that's the process which takes a time.
My experience, Michał, maybe you will follow me, is that it's good to include the legal guys while you talk about the business case.
Yes, because when we talked to our lawyers, they said that they are not invited to the meetings. They don't know what is the service we would like to acquire. And we are just sending them the agreement for their opinion. So it's a very bad approach, and it builds a very bad reputation for our legal department, because the giving legal opinion on the agreement you have never seen before about the service you don't know nothing about the company that on paper looks really weak, it just doesn't make sense. And they usually say no or yes after a very long period. But if you involve the lawyers early in the process, so they know the service, they know the company, they know they are dealing with professionals, the process will look completely different. On top of that, we managed to simplify the agreements, to cut some corners. So I believe now we will be able to sign the agreement quickly, and the agreement will be understandable, because either for our clients or our vendors, we are trying to simplify things so they will be understandable without additional effort.
Guys, as for startups, you all know that you do not have much money to spend on lawyers. Yeah, you do not have much money to spend on negotiations. Yeah, so the better you prepared before you go into the papers, the better for you, the cheaper for you. So try to talk to the legal guys before you started to pass yourselves any documents. Yeah, because the better you understand each other, the quicker the process will take. Yeah. And the least complicated the agreement will be. So again, what we've done, we've got 2 simple agreements to prepared for the startups to help with the solution. So no more 70 or 120 pages of the agreements to start working together. We'll make it simple.
The longer one is 32 pages, I believe, but it consists the data processing agreement for GDPR, some outsourcing elements, and a very wide description of cybersecurity. What is very interesting, in the long version, our IT security proposed that no startup will have ISO certification, so maybe don't ask them about this, just provide them an infrastructure that is already certified, and they can be under our certification, our cybersecurity umbrella. So this is a change that already happened after 3 or 4 months working together. And I believe we can be a really nice partner for startups, and we can lend our infrastructure, our expertise on some things, while we can learn from the startup expertise on another fields. So this kind of symbiosis, this kind of cooperation is the best thing for us.
And it's that it looks. So yes, you can expect some help from corporate side. So it's not like, I don't know, you are starting cooperate with some bank, and you think that you are small, bank is big, and you don't have any support from them. It's completely different. You have a lot of support, and you just need to ask them if you need something. So there is no any wrong questions when you cooperate with clients, even big clients.
Following the topic you started, and you, Łukasz, asked also interesting thing, because what is important not to get die in working with such a bigger an organization is to have a person who takes care of you. Yeah, so this is also what we developed, that you've got a kind of business owner or a person who gets the technology, to get your technology, the startup that you've got, and leads the way. For example, you've got Adrianna, who's fighting for you.
Yes, we love to cooperate with Adrianna. She's an example of open-minded person who leads the projects very effectively. So
how it looks, let's say, in a battlefield, when there's a problem, when you need to find a solution, and you've got a business owner from the side of the bank, how it looks?
it looks like you said, it's a battlefield. So when there's a problem, that person can arrange telcos, meetings, we are sending documents to prove something. So it's everyday duty to serve from both sides. That's my experience, that for the success of the project, we need such person on the bank side and on the startup side. And they cooperate every day. There are project managers, there's two spiritus movens who run that project, like two wheels in the fast car.
Kuba, I think you cooperate with Vitek? Yeah, so
Yes,
Vitek
exactly.
is fighting for you, for example?
Yep.
How it looks in the real world?
So yes, Vitek was too really helpful person from bank side. So when we needed something, or bank needed something from us, the whole communication was really fluent. So there was no any problems at all. Mm-hmm. Sometimes, of course, some procedures need to be. so it was sometimes we needed a lot of time. We needed to be patient and wait for some things, but the whole process was fluent.
What I'm thinking while going back to your stories, when you start working with one business line, it's like you start to work with a company inside a company. Yeah. So, for example, if you start to work with SME business line, it doesn't mean that your technology will automatically flow through the whole bank. Yeah. So the business owners who takes care of you, the project managers, also are like the evangelists of your technologies through the business lines. Yeah. For example, the OCR situation, we as the transformation team keep monitoring the needs of our colleagues inside the bank. Yeah. And what is important when different business lines ask us about the OCR, so the VTech who takes care of New Delta is the person who explains the OCR inside the company. So you've got the evangelization
Yes,
done
exactly. We have
inside.
a person internal in bank which tells us what we can provide for a bank. And by the way, you told about different sectors in bank, etc. So there is benefit from startup side, because small company buy something one time and they use technology in one or many applications. But if you are talking with bank, sometimes you can sell maybe not the same, but similar products you provide for your clients multiple times for different departments. So it's in some way benefit for a small company.
Michał, from your side.
Well, I'm thinking, because we promised some spicy details and fuck-ups, and I think it's time.
This is the time for that.
Yes, so regarding, and there is a good side of this story, because the New Delta project started in September last year, I believe, and during that time, the whole project team changed. So PM is different from the beginning. Business owner is different than the one who took the project. It actually changed 2 times. And when it came to paying New Delta for delivering the service, there was nobody, literally nobody inside the project who knew what we ordered. So people changed so many times. New Delta was the only one who knew what they were asked to deliver. They deliver, but nobody from the bank side could confirm this. And this is the advantage of having this kind of champion, because in this case, Vitek took the leap of faith. So he is a project manager of this project, and he said, okay, guys, I believe you, you are professionals, so I will sign the documentation for you to get your money back. So this kind of attitude will be promoted inside the bank because we need to trust each other. We need to work on the how to create a new business together, not to push the papers. We need to push the elephant, not the papers.
Yes, so we are surprised that a lot changes during this project, and still we have really good contact. I don't know how to say it different. So there was no any problems at all with payment, and as always we are people, and in bank people works too. So it was quite easy to talk with each other.
Okay, guys, money. We've got time, but I've got a tough question, but please be honest. Is working with a bank an easy money for a startup?
For sure not. Especially at the beginning, because it's a long process which consumes a lot of time, a lot of energy, and a lot of money. Indeed, because everything costs. So we spend dozens and dozens of man days to prepare the contract without the guarantee to win that contract. But we knew from the date first that we need to be prepared on every line, on every millimeter of the service. And this is really important advice. Be professional in every centimeter, millimeter of your service. It's really important because at the end of the day, you can win the project with really small difference with other competitors. So it was very costly project at the beginning, but right now we have a project for huge amounts of documents, not only in one process, in the long one, but also the accounts and so on. So it's very beautiful perspective for us.
Yeah, so I agree totally with what you said. And yes, you need to be prepared. You need to have some money, some money to work with banks, because you providing something that's quite big, and for big company they have big requirements. So you need to have time to manage it. So yeah.
Be prepared. Michał, from your side, as we said, some
two
juicy
things.
details.
So Łukasz said that small things may decide if you get the project or not. So in case of New Delta, it was the accountant background of the founder of the startup. So we needed something to deal with financial documentation, and Jagoda is an accountant, so she knew what we are talking about. So it was a coincidence, but it decided that we prefer to talk with them further. And the second thing about easy money. So, okay, everybody dreams about $1 million or zloty or euro contract with a large company. But please remember that we, large companies, have dedicated departments to negotiate with our vendors. So it's not easy money. Sometimes it's better to start cooperation with smaller company on smaller projects to have some traction, to have some actually working product, and then come to the big players, because sometimes it's not efficient to test your solution with large companies. And it's not only about banks, it's about all sectors. So sometimes it's better to start small and then be well prepared to go big.
And my other experience is the similar one, of course, that your first project with large organization is your investment. Look at that part of your business. Maybe you will spend much more money than you planned, and your business case is under the bottom. But you can use this experience to build your product, to build your position on the market, to approach other large organizations as an expert. That's the experience for us also from that project, that we can support other bigger organizations in a matter of e-signing documents. And that experience is unique. You can gain it only during the project, not from the books on the internet. It's a very unique experience, and it's worth for sure.
And I have a question, because we are often approached and asked, do we have an acceleration program? And we always say, no, we don't have an acceleration program. We are aiming to be a client for startups and fintechs. But listening to you, I would like to ask you, what did you learn during this journey? So do you have some additional experiences, knowledge, before you started working with us and now?
Yes, we changed a lot because we're a startup, a regular startup which had an opportunity to prove that the possibilities during the hackathon, and it's a moonshot, I can say, difference right now. Right now we are operationally oriented company, and we are prepared to make operations. And like 2 years ago, we were a small company which tried to prove that we can, that we understand, and we did it.
And by the way, if you have client like bank, it's much easier to talk with another clients, because if bank trusts you, another clients look for you much different. They see that if bank trusts you, they can trust you too.
I've got one more thing in my mind. Because as you know, we're looking for new technologies, and actually this is something which I address most to the colleagues from other corporations, that the best solution for working with the startups and with pushing the elephant is to stay open-minded. Because I remember first meetings with different business lines that our colleagues looked on, let's say, ready-made solutions for the bank. And you know what? There's nothing to do with the reality. So again, as with New Delta, you came to us with a totally different technology, yeah? But we trusted you, we see something in you, and let's say we work with you like with a technology chain, yeah? So if you're able to, let's say, develop your technology with us, to build something new with us,
yes,
that's great.
We had technology, but we have technology, but we had a completely different product. But you asked to make something a little bit different, but which still match our competences. And we made some proof of concept in less than 2 weeks, and we showed it on meeting with business persons, with analytics, and with tech guys, and we that way said that we can make it.
Michał, you remember the situation from the beginning?
Yes. So this is true, and it was less than 2 weeks. It was about 1 week, and when I was talking about convincing people from IT, so you showed the working MVP on financial documentation OCR to our colleagues from Kraków, and honestly, they previously didn't believe that it is possible to deliver something in 1 week time. So you just crushed their view of the world, view on cooperation with IT companies, and I believe you won the business during the meeting when you talk freely about profit and loss documentation, about the changes between different formats, but you won the IT when you delivered the working solution within a week.
So yes, it's like working with old style guys, like was said before. So yes, as a startups, we can make really big things in really short period of time. And big companies have a lot of procedures and don't know how it looks in startups. That we are working in completely different way, and it's much faster to communicate with each other inside your startup, and we can decide much faster than in big company.
Łukasz, I believe you've had also experiences with talking to our colleagues from abroad. with the
From-
Paris.
Could you repeat, please? From which
From
place?
the group.
From the group.
Yes, because you're working with the PF, which is quite different. And how it looks from your side, startup which is from Poland, clashes with the Paris, and let's say different outlook on the business.
My experiences are from the other departments of the bank and from other companies in the group of BNP here in Poland. So the differences are not so big for me. Different people, different scope of knowledge they have. Sometimes we need to update them, to synchronize the knowledge, to run the project smoothly. And it's really, really helpful if your champion from the previous project can say something about you to in the bank words. That's very important about the reality, and it gives you the opportunity to flow the next projects quite fast.
Okay, but I think we're going to the end. Do you have any questions for us from me, for my colleagues? Okay, so if not now, we're finishing our talk. We'll be waiting in here for a few minutes, and of course you can find our space at the road to the Inspire stage when we're looking for new technologies, so online, real-time, omni-channel communication with customers. This is our focus today, but not only, so hope we'll meet and talk and test the code together. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I believe we have some time for the questions. Maybe the audience has some questions? No, you don't want to know how to push the elephant with the help of those four. Well, thank you very much, Paulina Skrzypińska, the moderator. Thank you very much. Big round of applause. And to your amazing guests, Jagoda couldn't be here, but you stepped in very perfectly. Thank you very much. Thank you very much again.